If you're part of a nonprofit, you're probably handling some really sensitive information. We're talking data on sponsors, on donors, and of course, on the vulnerable people you're there to support. Protecting all that stuff, well, it's not just some IT issue, it is absolutely mission critical.
So let's just kick things off with a really simple, but honestly, a really powerful question. Who actually has the keys to your organization's data? Do you know for certain who can get into every single piece of information you hold? The answer, well, it might just surprise you. And it's at the very heart of what we're talking about today.
I mean, think about it. The stakes could not be higher. Your entire organization is built on a foundation of trust. Donors trust you with their financial info, and the communities you serve, they're trusting you with deeply personal, sensitive details. One little slip up, one data breach, and all of that trust can be completely shattered. So, what's one of the biggest vulnerabilities for so many organizations? It's often this outdated approach to access, kind of like a one-key-fits-all system. And that's where things get, well, pretty risky. And this slide, wow, it just lays the problem out so clearly, doesn't it? You've got a volunteer who just needs to see, I don't know, event signups, but they have the same full access as the executive director. The accountant, who really only needs financial data, can also see super sensitive case files. It's this all or nothing approach, and it just creates a huge amount of totally unnecessary risk. Okay, but the good news is there is a much smarter, way more secure way to manage all this. The solution is all about moving away from that single master key idea and instead embracing the power of what we call granular control. And that brings us to the core concept here, custom permission sets. To put it simply, this is a system that lets you get incredibly specific. You can create permissions that are tailored to what each person on your team actually needs to do their job. No more and no less. In this analogy, it just hits the nail on the head. You wouldn't give one master key that opens every single door in your building to every employee, would you? Of course not. You give the janitor a key to the supply closet, and you give an office manager a key to their office. Custom permissions do exactly that, but for your digital data. So how does this actually work in the real world? That's the big question, right? It's not just some magic switch you flip. It's about building layers of security that give you really precise, flexible control. We can pretty much break this down into three main layers of access control. You can set permissions based on hierarchy, on a person's specific role, and even by their geographical location or jurisdiction. Let's break each one down. First up, access by hierarchy. This one's really intuitive. It basically means you can set up permissions that perfectly mirror your org chart. So a regional director can see all the data for their region, but not for others. A program manager sees their team's data, but maybe not the entire organization's financials. It's logical, it's structural, it just makes sense. Then we have the second layer, access by role. This is where you get even more specific, customizing permissions based on what someone actually does day to day. Your finance team gets access to donation records, your field team gets the case notes, your marketing folks get the communication tools. Everyone only has the keys they truly need to do their job well. And finally, for any organization that's spread out across different locations, there's access by jurisdiction. This is huge. It lets you grant access based on geography. So the team in New York can only access New York data, keeping it totally separate and secure from the team in California. It's absolutely essential for keeping things orderly and private in a distributed organization. So when you bring all these layers together, what do you get? What's the ultimate result? Well, you get a system where really strong security doesn't mean more complexity. You'd think it would, right? But it's actually the opposite. The outcome is a total game changer. You go from the chaos and worry of a wide open system to the clarity and control of a secure one. You're able to secure that critical data, enforce the right restrictions, and honestly, just make life so much simpler for your administrators, all by handing out the right keys to the right people. And I love this quote because it just sums it all up perfectly. Real security isn't about building this digital fortress that's impossible for your own team to navigate. No, it's about creating an intelligent system that empowers your team by giving them exactly what they need to succeed and to do it safely. Which, of course, brings us all the way back to that first question we asked. After seeing how all this works, I'll leave you with this thought. Do you really know who holds the keys in your organization? And maybe more importantly, are they holding the right ones?